Hello everyone. So in the series of videos on different types of sad passages, here we have got another video which is about test 9 passage 3, where we are going to talk about guppies, and this is a science based passage. So all the things that we have studied related to science based passages would be applicable here. There would be an unknown problem, there would be some solution to it, and there would be questions based on that. So I would just share my screen to show this test paper to you, and I would request you to go through this before we start doing it together in this presentation. So if you go through it, it would be useful, and we would be able to relate to this. So this is test 9, question number 21 to 31, the third passage, which talks about evolution of the pea. So you can please watch. Uh, Stop this video for a while. I'll take a small nap. So in next 2-3 minutes, you can go through the text and we'll catch up again and go through the questions together. All right, hope you've read the passage. And now let us see the type of questions there. In case you want to attempt the questions, you can attempt the questions as well. And after that, we will go through the questions together. Just to give you a brief summary of the passage talks about how fast evolution happens. See, we all know there is evolution, like whether we talk about human beings or other creatures in the world, there are certain traits which get developed in generations, Uh, so we were not like our ancestors 4 generations back, and the children and the generations after 4 generations from today, the kind of human beings would be very, very different. So evolution is an ongoing process, but how fast does it take to, how much time does it take for a particular trait to get encoded in genes was the unknown question. And for that purpose, they selected a fish called as guppies, and they did a research on guppies to find out how fast or how slow evolution happens. And this is the passage all about the research findings. So let's go through the questions together. And while going through the questions, we'll read the part of the passage which is with reference to the question. All right, the first question says, in describing living conditions of guppies, the authors indicate that, no, I think not, this is not the first question. Yeah, the first question is here, question number 21. The first paragraph mainly serves to. Now, this is a paragraph based question. As we have discussed earlier, different types of questions are of different types. So we have studied that there are line based questions, there are word based questions, then there are paragraph based questions, and there are passage based questions. So the line based questions or the word based questions are considered to be easier than the paragraph based and the passage based questions. So this particular question, if I look at this, is a paragraph based question. It says, according to the first paragraph. So what is the purpose of the first paragraph? When you read the first paragraph, you will find that they are talking about the nature of guppies and why guppies are selected for this kind of study, because they reproduce very fast. The unstinting rate of reproduction makes guppies ideally suited. So basically, this is the line or the evidence which says that establish the reason why a certain species was selected for scientific observation. So fine, let's go to the next question. In describing the living conditions of guppies, the author indicates the lucky guppy, line 14. Now, this is again something which is a line-based question, because they themselves are saying go to line 14. Is one that. So what does line 14 say? Let's go to line 14. I've not read the options. I'm just trying to understand line 14 first, and then I'll see what exactly is the question saying, and accordingly I'll select the content. And I'll expand my window a little bit. I'll not just read question 14, I mean line 14, I'll start from here itself. Usually think guppies are colorful, this, but they also have a life in the real world. Okay, fine. So guppies are those small fishes which are like kept in the aquariums at homes, and they are colorful ones. but then they have a real life also. Okay, they live in streams at this place where this guy has done his field work and uh, can experience different kinds of conditions. Okay, so they are talking about different types of conditions depending on the luck of the draw. Okay, so sometimes the conditions are favorable, sometimes not favorable because they are saying luck of the draw. Lucky guppy, all right, is born above a waterfall or a set of rapids which keep out the predatory fish called pike silchids found in calmer downstream water. So lucky ones are the ones which are away from predators and they are safer. As you might expect, the guppy mortality rate, that is is much higher in the sites with rapacious silchids. So if there is a silchid, the death rate is higher. So that is what I understand. Now let me see and understand the question. What was it? Now, since I have got some data with me that they are talking about lucky guppy, unlucky guppy, the one where there are less predators, they're calling them lucky. I can look at the question a little more carefully. The question is saying the author indicates that a lucky guppy is one that major rivers having established guppy population, not really. Environment that provides natural protection, of course, this makes sense. Navigate the risks, manages to navigate the risks associated with living near waterfall. Manages to navigate, which means they have got some kind of skill. So there is nothing like a special skill. They said that it's luck, it's like by chance. And avoids predatory fish, it is not talking about avoiding it. So B is the answer there. One important technique is that do not read the options. First go to the lines, understand the context, then go to the options. All right. Which choice provides the best evidence for the conclusion that streams, and this is a conclusion, streams used by this gentleman in their real world study were not entirely free of predators. Okay, so we want to establish that they had predators. Who had predators? The streams had predators. And this is the key word. I look for the word R and I look for the line where it says it was not free from predators. It had some predators. Okay, so I know that they did discuss about silchids, which were the predators. So I will look at this line first, just taking the clue, and let me see whether it is the line. So 57 to 59, along with his students and colleagues, this guy, so the name appears here, removed groups of guppies from their predator in ridden environment. Yeah, so they are removing it from that place, release them in those places where there were no guppies earlier. Although small, so this is the line, it says, although small predatory killfish occurred in these sites, these fish do not pose anything close to the danger of silchids, which means there were some predators, but they were not as dangerous as silchids. So I can see some keywords which are there in the question, and I can make sense out of this that at that place also where they transferred the guppies, there were silchids. Okay, just to give you a reference of story, I hope you have already gone through it. These people transferred the guppies from one place to another to see what impact does it make. Like for example, if a guppy was in predatory free environment, they transferred it to an environment where there were predators to study what is the impact of such a change of habitat. And that's what it is saying, that in this place there might be some predators. It was not that it was entirely predator free, but these predators were not as dangerous as the silchids. So this is line 57. So I can very easily mark this one. Okay. Now see, this is important. When you are starting your journey towards developing your reading comprehension skills, you must have a lot of patience. Until unless you have done at least 20 passages yourself, you would not be able to identify your own style. It's like developing your car driving skills. Some people rush through and they go very fast, but then some people enjoy the ride and go a little slow, but then both of them on an average reach to the destination almost at the same time. I mean, it will not be fair to say almost at the same time. If I say that, so you have to discover your own style. In case you are a slow reader, then you'll have to save time on answering questions. In case you are a fast reader, you can invest more time on reading questions. And there are things in between also. You can always read the question first, and with reference to question, you can go to the passage. You can decide whether the passage is something about which you already know. Like, for example, for me, this particular passage was easy because I had read something similar earlier as well. And yeah, so this is important. If you do 10 passages, those 10 passages serve as a window of reference for you to answer the rest of the passages. So this is important. Okay, so the question was, now we are at question number 24. In line these, this gentleman uses the phrase giant test tubes to suggest that certain streams can. So let me just go to these lines quickly and let's see what's happening there. Why is he using these? So 43 to 44. 43 to 44 is here. So I'll not just read 43 to 44, I'll just read from here. How quickly though could these differences in how the two kinds of guppies live their lives have evolved? So he is starting with a question where he uses how quickly, which means he's talking about the speed of evolution. Okay, because there are numerous tributaries of the streams of this river, with guppies living in some but not all of them, this gentleman realized that he could, as he put in this paper, treat streams like giant test tubes by introducing guppies. Okay, so there are many tributaries of this stream. So these are the various tributaries, and he can put guppies in all of them, and he can consider them as if they are the test tubes. All right, so I understand what is happening here. Each of the streams were acting like test tubes where he can do some kind of experimentation. Some kind of experiment he can conduct there. Okay, fine. So let's look at the question. This gentleman uses the phrase giant test tubes to suggest that certain streams can suitable experimental conditions, maybe promote cooperative behavior, not really expedited rate. No, it's not expediting or slowing down something. Solve widespread environmental problems, not really. The answer seems to be A, that it provides suitable experimental conditions. That's why he's calling them as test tubes. Okay, line 49, the word popular, what is its use? Line 49, the word popular. Now, this is again important. See, in the last question, I expanded my window. This is something which you can always do. Don't just read line 49, read from a little further. This kind of real world manipulation of nature is called as experimental evolution, and it is growing increasingly popular. So something is growing increasingly popular. This is the word among scientists. So it is getting popular among scientists, which means more and more scientists are using it. When more and more scientists are using it, I can call it as that it is now become widespread. So it has become popular, means it is widespread among scientists to use it. All right, let's go to the next question. Which finding, if accurate, would undermine this guy's findings? Okay, so undermine it. We are looking for something to undermine. Now, what is happening here? Now, and so this is important. Now, look at this question number 26. Question number 26, I don't know from which line is it, but I know in question number 25, they were referring to 49. So I'll read something after 49, probably to know that this, I mean, to get the question 26 as well. So 49 was here. And there they talked about using streams for the purpose of experimentation. And along with his students and colleagues, this gentleman removed a group of guppies from their predator-ridden lives below the waterfall and released them into guppy-free streams. So he took them from one place and placed them at other place. Although small predatory killfish occurred in these new sites, these fish did not. So basically, this particular environment was the one where there were no predators, as this line says. Now, what is the idea here? He's saying that his findings would be undermined Why? How can this be undermined? Guppies examined in other parts of the globe exhibit genetic shifts. It's other part. They're talking about other parts of the globe. Now, there is no such discussion around it that the experiments were conducted in 300 different areas at a different rate from that exhibited by guppies. The new site into which this guy released the guppies is inhabited by fish that are found to be as predatory. See, why did you transfer guppies from one area to another area? Because here you had predators and here there was no predators. So you wanted to study that. Now, in case at this place also there are equal number of predators, your findings would not make sense. Let's just see what exactly were the findings of this gentleman. Scientific waited for nature to do his work. They brought the descendants of transplanted fish back to the lab to examine their reproduction. After just 11 years, now this is an important finding. In 11 years, the traits change. The guppies released in the new streams had evolved to mature later, fewer have fewer bigger offsprings in each litter, just like the guppies that naturally occur in these kind of environments. So basically, in 11 years, the genetic structure changed. So they were in the streams where there were lots of predators. So in this environment where there were predators to eat them, they used to reproduce faster and used to give birth to small babies, not large babies, but they were larger in number. But when they were brought up into this area where there were no predators, they started giving birth to bigger babies, but lesser in number. So they became kind of a little lazy. So that's what is happening. But in case the number of predators had been the same, the findings would not have been uh, like this. I mean, the findings would not have been of similar nature and it could have undermined his experiment. Okay, it can most easily be inferred from the passage that experiments in this place have shown in which of the following about what is this? Inferred from the passage that experiments at this place have shown which of the following about guppies. Most easily inferred. Now, this is something which is there is no clue. We'll have to read each of the statement and use process of elimination whether it makes sense. Some genetic traits evolve more rapidly than other. Let us try to see whether it is the case. Like genetic code, some evolve faster than other. So let's see whether it makes sense. If I go up, some genetic traits grow faster than other. I'll read the next paragraph and let's see. Have shown evolutionary change in a few as 2.5 years. So some of the things change in 2.5 years or a little over 4 generations, with more time required for genetic shift in traits such as ability to form schools, less time for changes in colorful spots. So of course they are talking about variation in time. Some things change faster, some things change slow. So A makes sense here, which is this. Since I've read it, there is no need to go for these. In fact, you can, but then to save time, in case you are done with this and there is a strong evidence for something, you can always select that and go to the next question. Provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question. Although we have already find that line, now I'll just go there and see which numbers they were. So they were talking about the changes in development and in these lines, the last few lines. So line number 66 to all the way down, 66 to 72 or 73. So for this, I'll say this one. Okay, let's go to the next set of questions. According to figure 1, guppies living in the south slope high predation environment. South slope high predation environment. Figure 1 produced mean number. South slope high predation figure 1, which means I have to refer to this figure. Is this figure 1? Oh, this is figure 1. Okay. And south slope high predation. What is the mean number of offspring? So this is between 6 and 7, which is a larger number. So 6 and 7 would be here. This is the answer. Which conclusion about the mean mass of guppy embryo is best supported by figure 2? Okay, so let me study figure 2, what is happening here. This is figure 2. I have got south slope south slope. Okay, these two slopes are same, but here there is high predation, here there is low predation. So when there is high predation, what is this talking about? Embryo mass. So when there is high predation, the mass is less, which means the size is smaller. So if there are lots and lots of predators, the size of the kids is smaller so that they can run faster. Probably I can make my own guess. But in case there are no predators, low predation, the size of the kids is bigger, is what I see. And here again is I see high predation. So irrespective of north slope or south slope, the variation is because of the predators. If there are more predators, the size of the kids is small. If there are less predators, the size of the kids is large. So you produce larger kids. Even if they move slowly, there is no risk. But then when there are so many predators, you will have to create small, I mean, give birth to small kids who can run fast. Okay, so this is what I get from this figure. The question number was question number this one. Which conclusion about the mean mass of this? The slope location was a better indicator of mean embryo mass. Well, it was not the slope location, it was the predator. The mean embryo mass of the guppies born in north slope environment exceeded. No, it was not again this thing. The predation level observed in each environment had more of an effect on mean embryo. Yeah, this is absolutely right. Predation level had a more impact on this. Okay, fine. Let's go to the next question. The data presented in figure 1 and 2 best support the conclusion that compared with guppies from high predation environment, guppies from low predation environments were more likely to. So this is a comparison between high predation environment and low predation environment. So we are supposed to talk about low predation environment. That's what they are saying. The high predation from low predation environment were more likely to. Who were more likely to? The one from the low predation were more likely to. So what do we know about this? They would be larger in size but lesser in number. So like this. But here it would be like lots of them, larger in smaller in size, but quite a large number. So there are just two which are as big. So I've just exaggerated it. But here there are lots of them, but smaller ones. All right. So what does it have a fear? So guppies from low predation. Low predation have fewer offsprings and reach full maturity sooner. Have fewer offsprings and reach maturity sooner. Why should they be maturing sooner? They can always have fun of their life. I mean, don't need to mature faster. Be a part of smaller litter and have a greater mean embryo mass. No, this is the opposite of what would be it would be. Have a higher rate of survival. There is no question of survival as such. Produce a greater number of offsprings and have a greater mean embryo mass. The one when the guppies from low predation environment, in fact A is the only one which suits, have fewer offsprings and reach full maturity sooner, which means they will start giving rise to babies faster. Produce a greater number of offsprings and have a greater mean embryo mass. So guppies from low predation environment have fewer offsprings and reach full maturity, which means they will become larger fast. Full maturity sooner. Yeah. So A seems to be the best answer from this. Now, smaller litter and have a greater mean embryo mass. This also actually seems correct. I read it very, very quickly. Be a part of smaller litter, not smaller size. Smaller litter means the size of the litter is small, which means there are only a few creatures here. See, the point which I'm not able to gather is reach full maturity sooner, which means they will start giving rise to kids fast. Why should they give rise to kids very fast? Why should they mature faster if they are relaxed? Be a part of smaller litter. Of course, they will be a part of smaller litter because smaller litter means there are only a few in a group because they are larger in size and have a greater mean embryo mass. So B is better than A, which is correct one here. So a few important things. Let me just every test, whether it is SAT or IELTS or TOEFL, is actually set in a certain standard way. The way of asking questions remain the same. The test paper changes, the passages changes, but the format of the test remains the same. So if you get acquainted to the way these questions are set, it would be easier for you to understand the question and answer them quickly. And that is why doing all these passages as much as possible is very, very important. Once you do 4 5 of the tests, you get acquainted to the structure of the questions and you understand the questions quickly, and your speed and accuracy increases. Thank you so much for watching. In case you have got any questions or any problems, feel free to reach me. My email is rajivgondal@gmail.com. So you can always reach me on my email address, and I would be happy to answer all questions which I can. Thank you so much. Hope you learned a lot from this video. Keep watching. I'm going to make videos for at least 5 6 tests, which will give you a chance to have a paradigm to think, a structure or a format or a framework to think about different types of reading comprehension passages. And this framework can help you to decipher other reading comprehension passages as well. Keep doing these exercises, keep learning, and score high marks. All the best to you.